everyone, welcome back to Feelings Forward. Today I'm in conversation with Mridu, who is starting off her career as a therapist and someone who's in her 20s. Today we're talking about love and dating and how it looks like for someone in their 20s, in the age of dating apps, situationships, etc. It's going to be a really interesting conversation through a personal lens. So let's dive deep into it. Welcome to Feelings Forward.
Hi, hello.
Hello, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Okay, there's lots we're going to talk about
Yeah.
today.
We talk about a lot of things off camera. I don't know if we'll be able to have this conversation on camera also.
all over again.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was actually curious because this population, people in their 20s, in their early 20s, is something I see them often in therapy, and this is their love life and relationships is something that we talk about a lot.
Yeah.
And there are issues surrounding these topics. So I thought it'd be a good idea to talk to someone who's in their 20s and understand what goes on. And I hope then the audience, whoever watches this podcast, will gain some insights into themselves, into their relationships, etc. And then, yeah, so that's the whole point.
That's a good point. And yes, I am in my 20s. That part I agree with. I don't agree with the part that I understand dating and relationships. I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many things that we can talk about because there's obviously a difference with the fact that you come from a different age group. I come from a different age group. We are professionals in different age groups. We see different people also. And yeah, of course, there's a difference. And yeah, I think it'll be an interesting conversation because people are quite any age group for that matter. I don't want to say for my generation, for any generation, relationship is something that people are very confused about. Human beings are confused, we're complicated, we are complex beings. So, and relationship is something that brings two complex beings together. So, I think that just makes relationships very complex. And it's something that's very needed.
True.
Yeah.
True. So, as a 20-something-year-old in your early 20s, what is dating looking like for you or in general for people you know, for your friends? What's happening there?
I mean, I guess for me, if in one line I could say something, I think when I talk to like my brother's generation, not generation, but I mean, I personally feel every year the generation is changing. So for me, my brother was a couple of years elder to me. When I speak to him or his friends, or even if I see like my parents or my sisters and all who have gotten married, their idea of relationship was finding the one. So then it was about finding the one, finding the right partner for yourself. And there was an idea about, of course, the society was very different. It was not that accepting towards too many options or we having a lot of, categories that we want, like that bucket list that we have, the checklist for men and women. That was not something that was given a choice for. And today we have a lot of choices. Society is way more opened about certain things. We're still traditional, but there's obviously a difference.
Yeah.
And in our generation, I feel that comes into play when, yeah, as I was saying, like then it was about finding the one, but now it's about finding yourself also.
Yeah.
Your childhood patterns which are being repeated, how to be vulnerable, how do you feel safe, how do you show up in your relationships. It's more about us. And since we come from that school of thought, I feel that ways also makes a relationship a little more complicated, thrilling, but also triggering, I feel. Yeah, that's I think the right word that I would like to put it into. That it's as thrilling as it might be, as wild it might be, it's also a little messy and it's also a little triggering because we're so quick to like jump to conclusions. We're so quick to labeling things. For example, there's certain words. I don't personally use them. I don't see my friends using them. I know so many people, like when I see clients also, breadcrumbing or ghosting or benching, dry texting. We were also having this conversation about how these words, of course, because these things are complicated, so you want to label it. But I think labeling it also makes you feel that it's need for you to jump to a conclusion. We don't feel the need to sit with it or think where are these breadcrumbing situations coming from? Why is there a dry text, like a one-word reply? Why is there a one-word reply? Is the person busy? Or is the person going through a very hectic day at work, so they don't have that much time? I think it's just in the world of Instagram where we see so many posts and reels, no one's so busy to be there for you, no one's so busy to text you. We jump to conclusions very easily. And our generation obviously has way more you know, access to social media, which leads to instant gratification and the dopamine rush. In a second, when there's no hook, you tend to, swipe through or like scroll through reels. Oh, this is not interesting. Oh, that is not. Oh, this is too long. I don't want to sit through the entire thing. I don't want to see an entire YouTube video. I'll just go through YouTube Shorts or I'll go through a reel. So I think that also gets spilled over to other aspects of your life, which I think is happening in relationships also. Like in today's time, there's nothing known as like, oh, we have to stick through. That's good also. You don't have to stick through something abusive.
Yeah.
But you also have to stick through certain things which requires patience. And I mean, relationships have always been work, as we were talking about, and you also mentioned that. But I think now when we talk about, in my generation, just my personal take, when we talk about how relationships is work, it becomes so stressful that, oh, there's a lot of work. Anyways, you're working. Anyways, you have so much to do. Now you have to work on a relationship. That's an added pressure. So people start seeing as a pressure. They start seeing as an inconvenience. There's a minor inconvenience. You have so many options. You tend to move to another person, or you tend to move to a third person, and that becomes a pattern.
Right.
Because एक बार निकल गए, दूसरी बार भी निकल जाएंगे. इतना वो लगता नहीं है. Then there's so many distractions.
Right.
पहले तो था भी, of course, we are way more open to our feelings. But then there's so many distractions. Social media is a big distraction. It's the elephant in the room. Phone. So that, all those things I feel.
Yeah, times have really changed because clients show up and, like you were mentioning these words, right? I hear them in therapy all the time and I think about what's going on because relationships, I'm sounding like an auntie, in my time was, of course, they were complicated, but complicated in a different way. Maybe it was like, oh, you would like someone, you would maybe ask them out on a date. If it works, you start dating, and then exclusive, and then you, if you want to get married, then it's more linear. Now it's become more complex. There are so many different tags, different situationships, and benching and breadcrumbing. There's so many different labels that have come up and popped up that it actually makes me wonder how complex these situations have suddenly become. And that makes it hard to kind of navigate because there's a tag and a label for every behavior. And like how you were saying that, people sometimes jump to conclusions also. I think communication, at least this is my opinion, I'm figuring it out in this generation and people in their 20s, communication is sometimes seen as a sign of weakness, like you're being vulnerable, so you're being needy. If you're saying, oh, I want this, or this is my expectation, or this is something I'm upset about, you're either judging yourself that, oh, I'm so sensitive, or the other person's judging you that, oh, she's so or he's so sensitive for bringing this up and having a conversation about it. So conversations sometimes are looked down upon, that I shouldn't be talking. Whereas a relationship can't work without a conversation. Does that happen? Like, what are your thoughts?
That makes a lot of sense when you talk about like vulnerability and the fact that it is looked down upon sometimes. But I feel in my generation, if I talk about, I think vulnerability is more accepting because we understand therapy is more accepting. Mental health is something that's actually given a lot of importance, which was due for a very long time. So that is, I feel, I have a different take on it, just my personal opinion, in the sense that it's not really looked down upon. I think it's just a lot of work.
And they don't want to do the work.
बात करनी पड़ेगी आज. We need to talk is just World War III is declared in a second. I feel it's just a lot of work because you have so much going on. Your brain is so overstimulated in this generation that we are. So many things happen. I'm not saying it was easy for you guys. It was difficult, but then your brain was not overly stimulated also. I feel to some extent.
Right.
You do not have too many opinions. घर वालों के opinions थे, एक दो दोस्तों के थे. You don't have social media opinions. You don't have like so many things because so many people are talking about relationship. You see a reel. For example, there's a reel about no one's as busy. For example, a Coldplay concert controversy happened.
Yeah.
So no one's as busy. A CEO can do this. So how can your boy or your girl not text you, not even take out 5 seconds? You jump to conclusions. And that is something you try to spill over to your life. So I feel communication, as you put it, is very important. It's extreme. I think as personally, effective communication is a key to a relationship. I think that's also seen like a work. Because don't just rush out of every inconvenience. Just scroll through it. That's just too much work.
Avoidance and escape is the coping
Yeah.
mechanism we're following. Short-term gratification.
Absolutely. And that's why I was wondering also, because of course you're way more experienced and you've seen a lot of clients. Do you feel attachment styles that we talk about, does that come into play? Like, what are your thoughts? Because even though you come from a different generation, you're still part of it now.
Yeah.
So, how do you see this difference as? You've lived so many years.
So many years. I'm not 80 years old. So many
But
years.
still.
So much wisdom.
Yeah.
Plus
a therapist.
Attachment styles have popped up also. In therapy, we constantly try to assess what are my attachment styles, what's going on in my head, how do I relate to someone, how do I show up in a relationship. Like you rightly said, that introspection and that self-awareness is kicking in for this generation as well, which is a good thing. But what do you do with that awareness is also something that then you know something, and then how do you implement that knowledge, and or how do you execute it? The struggle is actually there. But coming back to the point, attachment styles, anxious attachment style, very common. Avoidant attachment style, very common. And then somehow, I don't know, these two people find each other. One is anxious and one is avoidant, and they start dating.
That makes sense also. Like anxious attachment style, getting attracted to an avoidant one is actually the way it happens.
It is very common. So because of the whole uncertainty, unpredictability that comes into relationship nowadays, a person feels anxious about it because there's like, oh my God, what's happening? Have I done something? This person's not replying to me, or like hot and cold constantly can cause a lot of anxiety for a person who has, for example, an anxious attachment style, and it just doesn't develop in a relationship. It's something that comes from your childhood. So obviously we track back in therapy also, we try to track back into where this is coming from, where have you picked this up from, etc. And someone who's avoidant will be not willing to have those conversations. So they'll like find the easier route, so to speak, and not like how you said communication is work. So they might be avoidant. So if they're busy at work, might not, or having a bad mental health, they might not be able to tell their, don't know how to, for like maybe they don't have the skills how to express this particular emotion. They might not tell their partner what actually is going on for them, and then that partner is anxious. So it's that again, that push and pull situation comes up, and it causes a lot of discomfort or distress to both parties. The one who's anxious, of course, and the one who's avoidant and being put on the table or the chair and saying that, tell me what's going on. Like, oh my God, this is not comfortable for me. So it's important for not only any generation, for every human being to understand attachment styles and where they come from. And I think that's what we try to do in therapy as well.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But tell me something. Do you feel that, like, I personally feel it's very common for anxious attachment styles, avoidant attachment styles. Is it coming from a place that, because anxious attachment style, ideally, what I've seen with like clients in therapy, is it comes from a place where they normalize avoidant behavior in their childhood because that's what they've seen.
Correct.
There's so much neglect in childhood. There's so many things, probably parents, relationships is very avoidant, or they are a little avoidant to their own child. The caregiver and the child do not have that sort of a relationship, which is very healthy. So do you feel they normalize avoidance so much that is why the push and pull pattern is wrong? Because I've seen so many like clients or like people that I'm working with, and when we also talk about it, it comes from a place of we're not able to break that cycle. हमसे वो हो नहीं पा रहा. I'm not able to leave the person. How should I leave the person? And so many I don't hear, even if I see it with my friends, I don't hear the reason being because I love the person. It's just I can't. Where is that coming from? Is it because they're getting attracted because that's what they have normalized in their own life?
I mean, obviously, with individuals and with therapy, every person is so unique that I don't want to generalize. But yes, with that being said, it could be something that they've normalized, they've seen growing up, they've done that push and pull with a parent, and that's why they're trying to maybe recreate, or they again think it's okay, or something like that. Also, the second thing that I think happens is when you show up and you want to talk and you want to communicate, if the person in front of you, let's say, is avoidant, and like we said, we have so many options now, and let's say they say, okay, this is not working out for me, I don't want to have difficult conversation, then they leave.
Yeah.
The sense of rejection or abandonment that follows, right? Maybe this person has experienced that a couple of times or once or twice, and that thought has reinforced anxiety.
Yeah.
So it could be parents, one thing, it could be experiences with in dating, in one's dating life, that has reinforced ki, oh my god, they can leave me. So I think that whole thing gets combined together, and that's where things start to kind of unravel in a way. So it's more complex. Yeah.
Makes sense.
What do you think? What are people like? Let's say finding, when you were explaining dating life for us, we were more focused on finding the one, or it wasn't as complicated. It was different struggles were there. What are people looking for when they're 23, 24? Are they looking for long-term relationships? Are they, and obviously this is your personal opinion or what you think, people can have their own ideas around it. But what are they looking for? Something long-term, something short-term, a fling, or what?
I think eventually all of us want to look for something long term only. Everyone comes from that school of thought at the end of the day. They do want to look for long term relationships or a long term partnership. I mean, I've seen so many of people around me who talk about having a partner, not getting married. Like, I'm okay having a partner, but I don't want to get married. So, but at the end of the day, it's long term. But it's also because there's normalization of so many things which wasn't there at your time, or even for a very long time in our lives also. It's just recently it's become very normal for us, but for like future generations, or when I see my little sisters or brothers, there's so much normalization for certain aspects, like the hookup culture we talk about. And there's normalization about the fact that, yeah, it's normal, it's not just something you would do after marriage. It's not important to do it just after that, because there was a taboo around certain things. Now there's not that much. So jab tak long term nahi mil raha, might as well, they're okay exploring the short term things also. So that is why it's also leading into an increase of hookup culture, which I personally feel through my conversation that I have with my friends or what I've seen around me. It comes from a lot of other places, and not just ki, oh, I want to explore. There is definitely that. There's nothing wrong in exploring. But then I personally feel too much of anything is also a little wrong. I won't say wrong, but lack of a better word. But too much or too less of anything, any extreme, I think is a little bit of a problem.
Of course, right.
There has to be a balance. And that I feel somewhere with some people, that's not really happening. Because again, as I was talking about, I think I'm driving back to instant gratification so many times, because it will spill over, right? Everything that is connected in your life. We talk about this a lot in like therapy also, and our psychologists, that everything is interconnected.
Right.
Something or the other will spill over to something else. So when you're coming from a place of having so less of patience and that overstimulation in your mind, that it's just easy it is for you to jump from one reel to another. I'm not saying it's as easy for you to jump from one person to another, but that's just your pattern. You're not able to break it. You don't see any harm in it, because there's no harm in it. But at the end of the day, you also need to know where is it coming from. Because I know so many of my friends, they started having short-term relationships or flings or hookups because it was coming from a sense of insecurity, that external validation. That, you know what, when I went to a club, Mridu, you know, the girl was very interested. Or, you know, when I went to that, I want to dress up this way because my ex is going to be there. Or I want to have a good time today. So I want to dress up that way. I want to look this way. I want to look that way. It's coming from a sense of external validation. That if a person approaches you is when you feel they are very good looking.
Right.
It also gets spilled into coping mechanisms. I see so many people around me when they're going through a breakup. So that phase of having fun comes up. There's so many words attached to it.
Yeah.
So that phase comes in because you want to feel better about yourself. And that external validation, I think in today's time, because there's so many insecurities, there's so many things that come up.
Yeah.
External validation, I've seen it with clients, I've seen it with my friends, I've seen it around me in personal life also. I'm not saying I'm not someone who's not looked for external validation in school or in college. That, of course, who does not like attention? Every human being likes attention. We're social beings. And we come from India, which is a collectivistic society as it is. So we all like attention. But how much of it do you want to get into is something that balance is somewhere a little blurry in today's time, because there's so many options, there's so many things that are normalized. So again, I mean, as good as it is for the society to be modern, it also comes with its drawbacks.
Yeah.
Like how important it was for mental health to increase, the awareness to increase. It comes with its drawbacks of people taking advantage of it. Because I was anxious, I behaved that way.
Yeah.
Therapy teaches you accountability also.
Correct.
It does not just validate. It is valid for you to behave a certain way because you're anxious.
Yeah.
That does not take away the fact that you also have to be accountable for the fact that you behave that way.
Right.
So I think that's where it's coming from. People are at the end of the day looking for long-term relationships, but it's so difficult to find such long-term relationships.
Yeah. I have clients or people or even friends say that we want to date long term, but we are not finding someone who either wants to date long term or we want to date this person. The person who wants to date us, we don't want to date them. So there's so much and a lot of unsaid grief around that. That I'm not finding the one. That loneliness that kicks in, and social media also has a role to play. At least that's what I've heard. I don't know if it applies to everyone or not, but that tendency to compare, like XYZ person has a girlfriend, boyfriend, partner, and they're traveling the world, they're doing this, and everything is on social media, and then you are scrolling stories or you're on your phone and you're feeling a sense of like, oh my god, why am I not doing this? That FOMO kicks in, and what is going on with me? Why am I not able to find someone? And then that hampers your self-esteem further. And another loop starts to get developed, and it's complicated. It's extremely complicated. It's
that I agree. Complicated is the correct word. It's very complicated, I guess. And I also feel not just social media, I think media itself also. That has also changed so much from that, from 80s to 90s to 2000s to now. We start glorifying movies so much. There's always a happy ending, but no one knows the later part of it.
The aftermath.
So all of that. Then there's so many judgments also. Like I recently watched a movie on Netflix. It was a movie with R. Madhavan and Aap Jaisa Koi. Yes. Yeah, so there were certain dialogues in it, like who comes with no experience at the age of 16 to 17.
Right.
Like, why is there a judgment? There will be a lot of people who might not come with such experiences, which is fine. That judgment also comes in, oh, you know what? And I've seen a lot. I mean, when we were talking about this podcast also, I was talking to a couple of my friends, like my guy friends. And I was like, for you, where is it coming from? As a girl, so I can understand. This is what's coming up for us or everything else. And they were like, I don't know, probably it's just also when we were young, it was more about like competition. That, my best friend did something. Why couldn't I? Am I not that good enough? Can I not get a girl? Can I not have a girlfriend? Can I not go to a party and be approached? When he goes, he gets women coming up to him like, oh, can we buy you a drink or something? But I'm sitting idle and doing nothing, just gazing around. That sense of competition that I think comes a lot in men also.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, for women, it's definitely there. I'm not saying there's gender bias there, but for men, it's very overtly there that, oh, you did it, so I would also do it. Tera bhai ye, tera bhai wo. Those conversations. So I think that also, and of course, media, I feel in general, Hollywood or Bollywood, and we have so much access to media now. एक टाइम का दूरदर्शन चलता था, एक ही तरीके का वो चलेगा, और Indian cinema you will see, but now you're on Netflix, you are literally able to see every part of the world.
And still you can't decide. Does that happen with you? I switch on Netflix or let's say Amazon Prime or something, and there's so many options that it's like ab kya dekhna hai. And it's interesting because maybe that also happens on dating apps. That there's so many options that who to choose, who not to choose, was spoiled for choice. Whereas the pro here is, yeah, there are choices and you can, get with someone you're actually compatible with. That's the pro. But the con to that could be that you'll always think that, forget this is too hectic for me now. Ek ladai ho gayi, one conflict, and let me find something
Yeah.
better. The grass is always greener on the other side, and you go back to the app or back to the dating world and start finding. So the commitment to stay is something that has decreased.
It has. And there's, I think, a sense of, am I losing something better? Is this the best for me? Is something else better for me? Does this have, if I'm in this, will I lose someone who's, am I just like closing the door for someone who's better for me? I think that sense of fear also comes in. But as you said, like that Netflix example, for me, like dating apps are like a shopping store, I feel. When you go, you, even if you like one top, you will still go around exploring other options. You'll go to every section, you'll go to dresses section, you will go to something else, and then you will probably go end up buying that top which you like in the first instance, or you'll buy something else.
Right.
But you keep hovering around the same store again and again, again and again, till the time you find something you want for tonight. If you're going with the idea of just getting one dress. So I feel, and for dating apps, you are going with the idea of getting that one person. But for example, I was talking about like fear of losing out on someone who's better for you. I think with dating apps also it happens because I personally don't have much experience in dating apps, but I've seen my friends when I was outside. I think it started with a way of meeting people in a foreign land. I think when I was after school, college, of course, it's very difficult to find someone. You might find someone in workplaces, but you might not. Where else are you finding people or meeting people anyway, which is after school or college?
Yeah.
So I think dating apps came with a place of wanting to get to know people. But for example, if you're talking to someone, I think this is a friend example only. She was talking to someone, and of course, firstly, you have so many categories that you want this in one man or one girl. That does not happen. You will find something nice in another person. You find something nice in another person. So you swipe right on one, and you're talking to the person. Then you swipe right on some other people also.
Yeah.
So they are also now texting back. So you're talking to so many people in one go, and then figuring out which one's better. But you can't. I don't know how people are able to make that choice. So when I spoke to her, like, how were you able to make choice with like 3 people? Isn't that so much work? What are you doing? I'm right now literally drowning in my assignments and you're focusing on this. What is going on? She's like, no, it's fine. And then she went on a date with the 4th guy. So I feel, again, like too many emotions. You're trying to find so many things in one person. You're not giving that full chance to that one person because you don't have that patience also. कितना टाइम लगाऊं ये सब करूं, then go to another person, then उतना टाइम लगाऊं. So better let me just try exploring as many as I can in one go and then decide. But then how do you know that decision is also right?
Interesting, no? It is interesting.
Interesting.
It's like two thoughts. Like one is pro the idea ki, okay, maybe, then you'll see a range of people and then you'll be able to figure out who you connect with the most. That's also coming, but at the same time, like how you said, when you have a range of people, it can also bring so much more confusion. And you're not understanding how I'm feeling in this one person's presence.
Exactly.
Or, what's working out for us, the attention, the effort, or the concentration is not here, but it's divided, which can then lead to confusion and end up making the wrong choices. Because you're not giving, you're not letting that one relationship progress naturally from step 1 to step 5. You're deciding at step 2, which might be an unfair, thing for the person you're seeing. Interesting, because those two thoughts are coming, and I understand again, like pros and cons of.
There's pros and cons for everything. Even like social media, it's very important. We use it so many times. So many things are there, which is it's easy for us to like look at Google, figure certain things out, get knowledge. But I'm not in favor of like removing social media at all. But like reducing it or balancing it out. That sometimes have free zones of social media. Like do not use social media while having dinner or spending time with your family.
A thought that's popping up in my head is like when we're dating, like at least 20s and the dating space there is, the digital footprint, how a person appears on Instagram or otherwise other platforms, important?
That I feel is important in some way, because where else are you looking at that person? I mean,
What's important about it? Like how they put themselves out there, or the number of followers they have, or the pictures they click? What's important about the digital footprint?
that personally I feel is a very personal choice. Like, I don't usually do that because I'm also not on dating apps or anything. But yeah, I mean, I'm also one of those who does go up on social media and look at the person, who is she. But I think it's more about, for me personally, it's more about wanting to know, do I know this person? Do I have any mutuals with the person? So was she in my school? Was she in my college? Or who knows her? Oh, have I met her? Have I not met her? Have I met him? Have I not met him? So for me, it's that. I think that is a little personal choice. Some people might see some followers. Some people might see looks. I personally feel a majority of people look at the looks, how the person looks, how are they carrying themselves. Now, if it's important or not, I think it's a very debatable question, because I mean, I'm not someone who would be a very saint and be like, oh, looks don't matter. They do at the end of the day. I mean, arranged marriage concept is based on looks. So I feel looks do matter. How much do they matter is also a personal choice. Are you willing to give that person that chance? Now, you will not find everything. You will not find blue eyes, stubble, tall, handsome, this, that in one person. One person will have something. And even if you find someone like Hrithik Roshan, you might find a Greek goddess, but then, I mean, who says he was very good in his relationships?
I think that's the thing. Good looks, of course, important in terms of, and good looks as a concept also so subjective. What you might find good looking, I might not, etc. So that drives down to the thought that okay, attraction is important. You should be attracted to your partner in some way or the other. Some people are attracted to brains, like just not physical appearance or vanity. And attraction is again subjective. But brings me to, like, just when we're saying social media, do you think people are jumping to conclusions quite quickly based on what they see?
100%.
That, oh, he's or she's doing this or that, so they're making quick assumptions.
100%. I totally agree with that. And as you put about attraction, like backtrack a little bit towards the culture that's going on in today's time, which is increasing day by day. I feel, again, the attraction part is so important. It's very important for you to be attractive. But I feel when you build a relationship, like when we talk about long term and short term, that attraction also takes time. It unfolds in various ways at various stages.
Correct.
Today, even because we're so impatient, we will unfold that one major part so quickly that the other things also become like very superficial. Oh, this did not work out, so let me not work on other things. Give that time, give attraction also time to unfold a little bit if you're looking for something long term. I feel that patience in today's world, and it's not just about social media in general, like so many things are happening. We're living in India, it's so fast. Literally, it's so fast all the time. There's so many things.
There are so many
So you're running from one place to another, to another, to another. So
what about like infidelity? Because that's popping up in therapy these days. A lot of people are either being cheated on or cheating themselves. And I was just, sometimes session after session in a day, and we're talking about infidelity or trust or, suspicion that, my partner is not all there. I feel like I'm suspecting that he's seeing somebody or she's seeing someone. What's going on there? Is infidelity something that's common? Are people not being loyal like we would want them to, or what's the...
I do feel infidelity is definitely a thing, but then I don't know if I can compare it to a then, like a
it's not like a 20s or a 30s or a 40s.
It was always
like
there. I think now it's just more open. Because relationships are more open, you're more accepting to certain things, like open marriages is a big thing. Not that I agree with it, but it is there. So I think it's more open. It was always there. And I think infidelity, I think that's a very personal thing. There are so many things that can lead to infidelity. It can be relationship problems. It can be your own insecurities. It can be it can be more alcohol abuse, it can be
It could be
substance abuse,
anything.
it
It
can
could
be
be
anything.
anything.
I don't know if
Right.
it's a
Short-term
today's time.
gratification we're
Short-term
talking about.
gratification, definitely.
It could be anything, right?
Having more options, wanting to explore,
Being greedy.
of course.
Right.
But something that's popping up in my mind when I keep thinking about this, because I think about this quite often, like how a relationship's panning out in today's time. Do you feel loneliness has something to do with it? When you meet your clients, do you feel there's some sort of loneliness that's coming up despite having so many options?
Yes. There is a lot of loneliness. Even if one person is sitting in a room full of people, they can come back and report loneliness. Because I think the connection bit is something that connection again requires effort. And requires time, and those two things go hand in hand. And when we are in a rush, we don't have, like you said, don't have the patience for it or don't want to put the work in it, we are not able to connect with the person. Or it could be a friend also, it could be a relationship, it could be a friendship, and then it becomes extremely at surface level, or it's superficial, and then there's no connection and you're not showing vulnerabilities. So you're sitting with that person, but you're not all there, or you're still feeling lonely in your mind and in your heart, because you're like, who should I share my problems with, or who should I share my emotions with, or how should I express this? So loneliness, I think, is the byproduct of lack of patience and unwillingness to put the work.
Do you feel it's becoming more prevalent in today's time?
It has been there, and in my times also, and I'm sure it was there for someone who's in their 40s. Loneliness could have changed, the nature or the cause could have changed. Of course, it's an emotion or an experience. I'm sure people across ages would have experienced it, but especially in nowadays, you're more connected than ever with your phones, but you're still feeling a lack of connection. Maybe because it's of multiple options. I don't know what the real true reason is, or if there is one reason at all, or it is different for different people. I'm not sure yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. But yes, loneliness is something that's very often spoken about in therapy, and even with me and my friends, we talk about it often.
Since you were talking about like your clients, I also want to know if you feel like your clients sometimes when they come up and they talk about relationships, do you feel that they're also not putting in much effort into their relationship?
Not all, but yes, a few.
Why do you feel that's happening, or where is that coming from?
Because again, like I said, it's a culture that's being developed, or what we're used to in other spaces. Like, let's say, and I was talking to another friend about this in another podcast about like quick deliveries. Zomato, Swiggy, Blinkit. Short-term gratification is something that's become very common. Reels, shorts, options. There's so many like quick things that people don't want to put in the effort. Now, when they come to therapy is a process. So suddenly it's not as quick as they would want it to be.
And they want it to be so quick.
They want it to be
solution
so
quick. This is what's happened, tell us.
Yes, exactly. And it's not, because mental health or human beings in general are so complex. There's so many layers, and there's so many things that you're a product of your experiences, and you have a range of experiences in your life, from when you were born to now, till like every day is different. So how can we give a solution so quickly? Because let's say I give you a solution, you come up with anxiety or anxious attachment style. I give you a solution, it might not work for you because it's more complex than it sounds. Or another person with, or something that's worked for you might not work for another person with anxious attachment, right? So I think that like जल्दी हो जाए सब कुछ, तो वो therapy में तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा you see it. For sure, like they come and they're like, how much, the first question is how many sessions will this take? Which we don't know. I give them an approximate timeline, but again, it might get followed, it might not get followed. It also depends on how much work you're putting outside of these
Yeah.
sessions. It's not just about that 1 hour. And I think people don't want to do the work in terms of, because it's hard. I understand.
It's
I
definitely
understand it's hard. So you get into your emotions, you get into your baggage. It's a messy space for you. You don't want to deal with that. You just want to pack up that bag and throw it in the
throw it
store.
away. Yeah.
So
I
I
think there's
understand.
much work being done outside therapy room also as
Yes.
such. And
Yes.
clients don't understand that. I don't even give them a timeline. When they ask me how many sessions, I'm like, I don't know. You tell me how many sessions can you give me? Because
Fair.
I don't have an answer
Yeah,
to
there
it.
is no right
There's no
answer.
right
There
answer
is no
to
right
it.
answer. You don't know if the sometimes someone comes with anxiety and it might be childhood trauma,
Yeah.
which is more complicated, more intense, and requires deeper work. So the 8 sessions that you were thinking would turn into 80
80
sessions.
sessions.
So you don't
And
know.
sometimes you don't even know where it's coming from. You've
Correct.
also forgotten because you've lived so many years of your life.
Yes.
So you don't even know kya hua tha when you were really, like, you were kids or you were children. You don't even remember. And obviously you did not think that that will affect your today's life, but it is.
It does, yeah. It does.
So yeah, I think that quick fix is a big problem.
Yeah, but I'm happy that young adults are showing up in the therapy room, are at least more open to the idea. I think they understand therapy to be a slow process. Um, but with that being said, I don't know if they understand it fully. They understand it's a slow process, but when they get into it, they're like, "Jaldi kyun nahi ho raha hai?" So there's that back and forth, and I have clients telling me that, I understand it's slow, but I'm getting really frustrated, and we sit with that frustration. And there is surface level interventions that we deal with. We give them grounding, and we tell them breath work, we tell them guided meditation, and things to do, like, which could help with the symptoms, but not the problem, the root cause of the problem, and then that will take more time. So it's a process.
And I feel it's not just in like therapy and in relationships. I think quick fix is coming up everywhere. I know someone who was probably, so he really wanted to wanted to work on his body. He wanted to go to the gym. In a couple of months, he did not see, like, in a couple of months, I'm talking about like 2-3 months, and it was the first time he started going to the gym. Did not see a progress. Got very frustrated about that also. Like, why is it not happening? And I'm like, it will take time. It's the first time your body is getting used to it. Like how our mind gets used to, how behavior gets used to, like, therapy, it takes time. When you're doing gym after a very long time, like after our long days, I hear so many of my friends like, oh, we had a leg day, I can't do it, I can't go clubbing, it's just, I can't wear heels, I can't dance, this and that. Because there's soreness, because you did it after a long time. Your body was not used to it. When it comes about mind and therapy, your body is not used to, your mind is not used to knowing so many things about your own self. So that there will be soreness there also.
Yeah.
So I feel that comes up there when they're not able to crack a deal, when they're not showing progress, they're not able to make money. I know one of my friends, she's very impatient. She just started a brand. She's like, I'm not able to earn. It's been 2-3 months now. What should I do? I'm like, relax. It's just started. It will pick up. It will take 2 years for your brand to also be established. It's going to take some time. So I think that quick fix is coming everywhere. I don't know if it happened. I don't see my parents being that impatient, probably because they've lived so much. Probably they were also impatient when they were in this age. I don't know about that. But I feel that impatience is just spilling over everywhere. And what we're not understanding is how to handle that impatience. क्योंकि हैंडल करने के लिए अवेयरनेस चाहिए, उसके लिए थेरेपी जाना है, वो भी क्विक फिक्स चाहिए.
Yeah, it's so layered. It's so fascinating that when I'm listening to your talk, my brain is making those 1, 2, 3 layers.
Yeah.
And every individual has their unique set of layers, and it's interesting. But how do the dating life now? We've spoken about that, but any tip or technique that has helped you particularly? I mean, again, subjective, might help someone else, might not.
Yeah.
But something you want to share with the audience, something that you want to remind them.
I feel it's important to, for example, if I talk about myself or like my friends around me or anything that I have learned, is it's very important to give yourself that time. It's important when you're going through a breakup or you're going through something in your own life. It's got nothing to do with breakup also sometimes. Giving yourself time, and it's the most disgusting or the most irritating thing you can hear someone say, just give yourself time. Don't want to give myself time. I want to get over this feeling. There.
Yeah.
But it is that process. Grief has 6 stages. You have to go through it to be able to understand and see what happened, what goes on, to be more aware. And giving time does not mean you have lost, or you are lonely, or you are not good enough. I think that external validation does not need to come from just a relationship or just another person. It can come from within yourself. The internal source of validation is very important, which I think is a lot of work that goes into therapy also, which I don't know if people understand in today's time. I think I also don't understand it so many times. I also seek validation sometimes, and I also get very impatient. But I think that is very important. Like sitting with emotions and giving yourself time is very important. You have to heal to be able to be with someone, to be able to, have another work to do, another relationship work to do. If you want to do that, I think it's important for you to take some time off, be with yourself, understand yourself. It's a very immediate thing that, my ex did this, or my ex did that. But know how you were also. I'm not saying don't bash them. Go ahead, do as you please, whatever makes you feel better. Sometimes ranting helps. But after some time, sit with yourself to know how you were also in the relationship. Who are you? What do you want? What are your deal breakers? What are actually your deal breakers? What are you just labeling? Do you want to enter into something, some friendship or relationship just for the sake of it? Just for the sake of validation, just for the sake of insecurity, just for the sake of showing it to someone else? Where is that need coming from? I think that is very important. Once you know that, then you will know how to deal with it also. Because then we were talking about, like, if we backtrack in that podcast, the first conversation we had, which was about labeling. Yeah. Then you will also know what are you actually just labeling and what is actually your deal breaker. And not everyone has deal breakers. I have mine. Yeah. But other than that, if I'm making a big decision, is it only because I'm frustrated? Is it my reflection of what's going on in my life? Or is it actually that someone else has done something wrong? Right. So I feel knowing yourself and sitting with it and not seeking validation, not getting into something. I'm not saying anything is wrong that's happening. Just know why are you getting into it? The why behind it. The why behind it. Is it coming from a place of wanting to just enjoy, or I want to explore because I like spending time with the person. It's interesting. I want to see. I want to understand. I want to know the person more. That is different. Fair, you should. We all try to know each other more. Is it coming because you want to feel good about yourself? You want to show it to someone else? You are so tired of being lonely, or not even lonely, alone. There's a difference there also. You're so tired of being alone, is why you want to enter into something. So those whys are very important, and these are not good enough reasons, because no one is responsible for your happiness, and no one will make you feel better about yourself 24/7. Right. It's just you, and that's a bittersweet fact of life. Right. So once you know that, I think you'll also enter into something with a clear mindset, with clarity, where confusion will not take place. If it does take place and there's a pattern, breaking that will not seem impossible, because you know yourself more. Yeah. So I think that is the only thing that I can say. Not that I follow it all the time. So sit with yourself, introspect, reflect, figure out who you are, what you want, all of that. Yeah. That's important. Very, very, very important. Sometimes it can be scary to do it yourself. That's what therapists are for. But what do you feel? What do I feel? What is that one tip or technique that you feel is important? Like, from your lived experience, more than a 20-year-old, and working with 20-year-old for so many years. I think one thing that I tell my clients also very often, that I don't know if I don't want to call them kids because I'm not that old, but people in their 20s are bored quickly. Yeah. Like, boredom is something like, oh my god, this is just really boring now. That stimulation, like, because we are overly stimulated. Yeah. So when we're in a relationship, and I show them this picture often, and probably I'll put it on the screen in the podcast. It'll pop up here somewhere.
But you know how I make a straight line and I show love like this,
Yeah.
like going up
Hmm.
like a spike
Hmm.
and then a bottom, hard rock bottom. And a person who's been through that, the up and down, when they pop up in a relationship which is like straight line or
Straight
little
line,
smaller
yeah.
ups and downs, it's not as thrilling or
Yeah.
emotionally taxing, for a lack of a word. It's not making you feel as intense as it did before, but that's what stability and consistency looks
Yeah.
like. So my advice, or I don't know if it's the right one or the wrong one, but my opinion is to be okay with being bored in a healthy manner.
Healthy
I'm
manner.
not saying, oh, there should not be any kind of fun or thrill or adventure or childlike experiences in that relationship where you're like there's banter and there's like playfulness,
Yeah.
so to speak. All of those things are important, but those spikes are extremely
Extremely.
unstable. So to be okay with that, because what happens is once you go in that big up and down
Up and
spike in a relationship and then you move on to something stable, you start feeling like I'm not feeling like I used to. This is very boring. This relationship is no, I don't like it. But a healthy relationship will have, and I see it as peaceful paths. Like they'll have that flatter line. They'll be like nice and contentment or like peace in those moments. I think just to maybe leave the audience with that thought to reflect about something they can think about and agree with me, disagree with me. Okay, great.